professional practice presentation. I have the pleasure of interviewing Lily Swan for this assignment. She is the Director of International Student and Scholar Services at the University of St. Thomas, Houston. I have an interest in working with international students, so I was really excited to be assigned to Lily. So Lily obtained her BS in Communications from Eastern Michigan University, where she went on to pursue her Master's of Education at the University of Nevada, Las Vegas. Her first year, she had a graduate assistantship with Gear Up. It's a program directed at low-income families to educate students and parents about life after high school. Its mission is to help increase the number of low-income students who will succeed in post-secondary education. And Lily said that it was interesting, but she honestly hated it. She didn't find it rewarding. So during the second year of her program, her friend mentioned that an assistantship with the international office was going to open up. And so Lily worked as an international student advisor there, and she absolutely loved it. She admitted that the people she worked with had a lot to do with it. She had a great supervisor. But through the experience, she developed a new appreciation for higher education. She said she loved being able to meet people from all over the world without ever having to leave her desk. So after obtaining her master's degree, she worked at the University of Houston Clear Lake for almost 5 years as an international student advisor and an international admissions counselor. From there, she was promoted to Senior International Student Advisor, and now, as I said, she's the Director of International Student and Scholar Services at the University of St. Thomas. Her responsibilities include setting policies and standards, making sure they are in compliance with immigration regulations, and she works closely with cross-campus entities such as Student Affairs. So that was just to give you a little background on Lily. Now I'll discuss the interview questions I asked. Because of my interest in international students and Lily's area of work, this is the group that we mainly focused on. So the first question I asked was, how would you describe the campus climate at your university, and how is diversity encouraged? Lily responded saying that people are cognizant of it. She said that the school is in the heart of Houston, which is one of the most diverse cities in America. 12% of the student population is international, so it's very likely that students will have classmates from other countries in almost all of the courses that they take at St. Thomas. They celebrate diversity through programming. They recently had an event called the World Fair in a Day to celebrate cultural diversity. There are 15 countries that were represented by students who each provided food and dress for their country. Lily also said that sporting is a lot of the time geared toward international students. She mentioned that they recruit a lot of international students for their athletic teams, and mentioned that soccer was a big one. Next was, are advisors on your campus trained in how to work with students from different ethnicities and cultures? Lily said that there is no formal training, but that the staff is very well aware of the needs of the diverse student groups and of how cultural differences may play into communication. She described them as culturally sensitive. At the University of St. Thomas, the Initiative for University Excellence provides services and resources to promote the professional development of the staff and faculty. Her office did a whole presentation on international students and how students can maintain their status. In the future, she would love to have some type of diversity training at this IUE event. She says that the staff are more aware than the faculty, who are not really as sensitive to the needs of the international students. I asked Lily what she saw to be the main issues affecting international students on campus. She was quick to say quick to respond with English being a big issue. Mostly written, but sometimes verbal, as in the ability to think critically at a college level in English is challenging for a lot of international students. They also struggle to adjust to the classroom environment, where most students come from cultures where the professor talks and students say nothing, which was something that we learned about, the need to understand different communication styles. It's hard for them to get used to a more interactive classroom setting. Also, since the University of St. Thomas is a Catholic university, all students are required to take 12 credit hours in Catholicism. Many students struggle with this since a lot of international students practice different religions, Muslim, Buddhist, etc. Lily made sure to explain that they are not trying to convert the students, and they're not forcing them to become Catholic, but it's just a required part of the undergraduate curriculum, is maintaining their status, ensuring that they have the right visa and things of that nature. Next, what kinds of strategies and programs do they have to help international students adjust? They have a 2-hour orientation program to talk specifically about immigration-related information. She's considering the idea of an extended orientation to follow up with the students throughout the semester, possibly having another session before midterms and another before finals. This would help them understand where they are struggling and figure out how they can address their issues. Lily's passion, she mentioned, is with orientation programs. She said she likes working with first-year students. So I think that's an area she really wants to improve on. There's also online orientations available for the students who can't make the orientation program in person. There are various student support groups through the different clubs and organizations at St. Thomas. There's an International Student Association, along with more specific organizations such as Vietnamese Student Association, Filipino, as well as Brazilian Student Association, just to name a few. Also, her office partners with the Student Activities Office to promote events where the students can get to know other students who aren't international. Lily says they want the international students to get involved in events and activities to be able to get to know the university as a whole. And the last question I asked was, how could the university create a more supportive environment for international students and minority groups on campus? One way Lily mentioned is for her office to be more involved with the IUE program. She thinks a campus-wide educational session with faculty and staff would be very beneficial to make known what her office does for the students, and also to hold the diversity training session at IUE, which I mentioned earlier. She said possibly to hold presentations at the department level to hear the concerns in various departments, and she thinks that it would be helpful not just to hear from the student, but every party involved, so she can get a more holistic view. Which I think this idea is probably my biggest takeaway from this assignment, was that in order to create a campus culture which encourages and is accepting of diversity, it's important to educate not only students, but the faculty and staff as well. Campus-wide awareness needs to be achieved, and I think Lily presented some really great ideas for creating a more supportive campus environment. And although our discussion was focused around international students, I think the suggestions offered can be useful when considering other minority groups as well. So that was my presentation, and thank you for listening.